probably join, but let's kick off. So I think everyone has spoken to me. Some of you probably have not yet. Some of you know Heather very well. Some of you don't. But the main reason for us to be here today, of course, is to meet with Goran and Hilda and see the yacht that we're going to be using. That's going to be doing the expedition. Just for a very brief intro. So just so everyone's clear. So Heather and I are from Wavysail. Hi, Brittany. Heather and I are from Wavysail. So I'm the founder of Wavysail. Heather is shore operations lead for Wavysail. So when we said that there'll be a dedicated shore ops person, it's Heather. Heather's a circumnavigator in her own right. She's done a tour of the world by sailing yacht. She's got a massive amount of sailing experience, and she's knows all the questions as well that people have in terms of what to kit, what to pack, where to go, all the questions that you might have. I know that Heather will be happy to answer, and some of you know Heather very well already, so you'll know that she is the glue that basically makes every wavy sail trip run smoothly. But this is not a wavy sail trip. This is a partnership with Quest. And so let me just explain again so that it's really clear, like how does that partnership work? So as those of you who've sailed with Wavy Sail know, we've spent 6 years really trying to build small groups, hands-on sailing expeditions into unique and interesting destinations with really experienced professional skippers. And thank you to the people on the call who've joined us on some of those trips. We've always been very passionate about making sure that we run trips to the really highest professional standards we can. And therefore, we've only ever run our own trips. But when we met with Hilda and Goran, um, we found as well who run their own sailing operation that they also have the same vision and outlook, also small groups, really exciting adventures run to very high standards. And so it made sense for us to partner with them. And that partnership is how we are between us running the Northwest Passage. So the splitting of the responsibilities is that Wavy Sail are doing all of the onboarding. We're taking the money. We're doing the onboarding, all of that side of the administrative side of things, answering all the questions, making sure that everyone knows where to be, how things are going to operate, all those sort of logistics questions that you might have. And we will also, through the trip, provide kind of shore support service as well, so as the trip progresses. But the trip is being operated by Quest, by Hilda and Goran. So that's a really good opportunity for me to hand over to Hilda and Goran. The purpose of today is for you to meet them, to find out everything you want to find out about them and the yacht, and ask them as well the questions that you might have about the trip. And this session is really about you guys, you know, asking all the questions you want to ask. So, whatever the question, feel free to chip in. All the people on this call are all, I would say, either already committed to coming on the trip or are, likely to come on the trip. So you're probably on a call with the other people that you might well be sailing with in 2028. So you can also ask questions to each other if you want. Use it as an opportunity to get to know each other. Let me hand over to Goran and Hilda. Maybe you do a quick introduction, Goran and Hilda, about yourselves, talk about the boat, and then we talk about the trip. And then, of course, Q&A. Anyone that wants to, please feel free to chip in. How does that
Okay.
sound?
Hi guys, nice to meet you all. My name is Joran. I'm from Sweden, And I started to work on a fishing trawler at the age of 16. And since then, I've been working full time in basically commercial shipping from Antarctica to the Arctic my whole life. With Quest, I left Sweden in 2011 with my first trip to the Arctic Svalbard. And after that, I sailed by way of Cape Verde, Brazil, Caribbean, Bahamas, Panama, and to where we are sailing now between Cartagena and Colombia. And I've been doing regular trips between Cartagena and Panama for the last 12 years now. But it's getting a little bit hot down here, so it's time to head north again. And Quest was actually, when I designed and built Quest, I was working in Antarctica and Arctic. So she was designed for doing what I was doing myself at that time. So she's designed for the Arctic with insulation, central heating, floor heating, etc. So I'm looking forward to share this trip with you if you're still interested.
Mm.
And Hilda.
Yeah, my name is Hilda. Nice to meet you all. I've been sailing since I was a kid, went to maritime school when I was 15, sailed on training ships and private yachts mostly. And then I met Goeran around 20 years ago. And then we met again, and I've been on Quest almost 3 years now. So yeah. Yeah, of course, yacht master and all that. So yeah.
Perfect. And do you want to tell us a bit about the expedition itself, and then we talk about the yacht, whichever order you want to do things?
No, we can do expedition. I was just looking at the ice conditions yesterday.
Sorry.
It's my alarm clock. I was just looking at the ice conditions yesterday, and it is open water way past Cambridge as it is today. So I was looking before leaving on the 15th of July, but I think you changed it to the 21st July, which I think will be good. We will have time to explore along the way, but as it is today, present, it is open. It's only Alaska, coast of Alaska, that is still closed. Or so we will have. We will watch the ice along the way, and the ice will decide the route. 1 week ago, it was um, blocked at Pale Inlet and the strait, Ballard Strait was blocked. But as it is today, it's all open. So
Yeah.
what tent ice. So we will. The plan is we keep an eye on the ice, waiting for it to open, and in the meantime we explore. And when we see it opens up, we head for the choke point.
Mm.
And vision to get through that choke point whenever it is open. If it is open, we were not going to linger and go and look at historical sites. If the choke point opens up, then we go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we're doing this also with Wild Films, our documentary film crew. So it's in collaboration with them as well. And we have a couple of, we're going to start in Nuuk, as you know. And then west coast of Greenland, Ilulissat and Disco Bay. And then we crossed over Baffin Bay, Pond Inlet, Lancaster Sound, and then, as Goeran said, this is also, of course, depending on
but
the
you have a good description on the website.
Yeah.
More or less day by day in chunks.
Yeah.
How it will proceed.
And then Prince Regent Inlets and the Central Arctic Channels, Franklin Strait, Victoria Strait, and then Cambridge Bay, and Amundsen Gulf, and then Nome, Alaska. And sorry. Okay, no. We are also, of course, in it's a little bit what Alex want to have with him in the documentary as well, but we are also very open for if there's any particular requests of sites or places within what we can, within reason and what the conditions will allow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I know a couple of people have already said that they'd like to explore, spend a couple of days in Greenland, for example, and I'm sure we can build that in. Of course, we've got like a couple of years, so we've got plenty of time to plan the itinerary. But I think the main thing probably that's worth flagging to everyone is that we've sort of nominally we've said this is a 45-day passage. I think with this trip, you know, don't book flights like the day before and the day after, right? Like
No,
we
no, no.
need a degree of flexibility. So this is it's an unusual passage for us, and in the sense that it's as Goran said, you've got potentially the ice can still be lingering around longer than we expect. It's going to make the passage longer. We're always going to be moving and adjusting the itinerary with the view to keeping the yacht safe, of
Yeah, and
course,
also,
and not pushing through if it's not right. So that means that all the crew need to have that kind of mindset of being perhaps a little more flexible than if you were even going on a different, on a St. Helena trip with Wavysail, which was also 45 days, but where even there, sometimes we get caught out, but we can be more certain that, okay, it's kind of going to run within that window. This, we definitely need more flexibility.
definitely, we are not sailing on a schedule. It's our mission is to get through to Nome whenever we manage to do it, and in the meantime, use the time as much as possible to explore and visit sites and make the most of the trip. But with one eye open, keeping an eye on the ice all the time, and whenever it looks promising, we're heading for the ice.
Yeah.
So, but definitely not the schedule. If we might not to Nome until middle of the September, so we definitely departure can be more or less set, but the arrival it's not a set date. Our mission is to be there at the end of August, and also we want to head south before the autumn storms starts in the Barents Sea.
Yeah. And presumably as well, and I'm asking this on behalf of the questions that I have heard from people, that it may be possible for people to join wherever we position to get into Greenland, and certainly from Nome when we go south, because as you say, we're not going to hang around in Nome too long, right? So I guess some people will be quite open to the idea of joining before and staying on after. And again, I'm assuming that's possible. I mean, again, to be decided nearer the time, but not impossible.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's not impossible.
Nome, there's not a lot to do in Nome, so
no, we will only stop and leave again the same day or the next day.
Maybe just at this point, does anyone on the call have any specific questions that you'd like to ask Hilda and Goran about your experience, about the trip, anything at all? This is time to ask questions.
Would it be the first passage for yourself as well, Goran?
Yeah, for the Northwest Passage, it will be the first one.
Okay. And in general terms, what kind of weather and temperatures may be expected during this passage?
The average temperature is around 5 degrees, I would say. But in a blow, it can be cooler. And the weather, there will be a lot of calm and a lot of wind. There will be both kinds of weather. When we have calm, we motor. When we have wind, we will sail. But the weather will vary.
Yeah, and of course, it's depending on the ice also how much we will sail.
But it's also probably worth just mentioning though, Goran, because from the question, I know you've never gone through the Northwest Passage, but you've spent a lot of time in the high latitudes.
Yeah, I've been
probably
working
worth just flagging. This is not like your first rodeo in the.
No, it's I've had ice in my whiskey for many years, so I'm used to ice. I spent 7 seasons working in Antarctica and the Arctic. The winters in Antarctica and the summers in the Arctic on an expedition cruise ship.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you. Any other questions?
Andrew, I had a question. I'm just very curious about the kind of kit that we're going to need. I sort of have my drill for what I wear when I think it's going to be cold on deck. And I'm just curious, like, what do you normally expect to be wearing? Because I think it's going to be colder than I've been used to.
Personally, I hardly remember. I've been in the Caribbean since 2012, and what I wear is all I have. So for me, I will probably be in shock by the time we get past the Gulf Stream up to Halifax. I will be thinking, "What is this? What shall I wear?" So it's probably Hilda can better answer that.
Thermal base layers
Okay,
is always
okay.
that is definitely it. And then of course mid layers, fleece or wool, sweater, jumpers. Oh, layer on layer clothing is very, very good. Insulating jacket, waterproof, of course, or windproof outer jacket. Gore-Tex is great. Yeah, and then of course casual clothing for below deck. And then a beanie. I mean, head is very important to keep warm. I think they say like 70% of the heat.
If you have cold hands, you put on a cap, not the gloves.
Yeah.
To keep your hands warm.
Yeah, and then of course neck gaiter or buff. That's also very handy. Water resistant sailing gloves, always. Yeah, and of course, I would say several pair of wool socks. Always. Also, you can layer. I always wear layered socks as well, and then I have a wool socks as the outer layer.
You will be divided in watches when we are underway. 2 person on each watch, and if we have any ice condition or whatever, the pilot house is fully heated, so you will probably take turns working out between each other. If you take 20 minutes on deck looking out for ice or whatever, and the other one is in the wheelhouse looking at navigation, and then you take turns, so you're not stuck on deck for hours and hours. So 20 minutes on deck, ice lookout, and 20 minutes inside in the wheelhouse navigating.
Maybe not as cold as you think, Tracy, in that nice wheelhouse. No exposed open decks. I think
and also you can have a blizzard, but in general the average temperature I would say 5 degrees. And then it can also be 10, 15 degrees. I had 15 degrees in the bay in Svalbard.
So we will
only for a few hours.
Yeah, and we will also, and Tracy, what we will also do is we should have the gill fowlies, the offshore fowlies as well, that are on board as well for everyone to use. So those will be on board free for everyone to use. Obviously, we'll get all the sizes first. So in terms of that, because they're quite nice for offshore. I think the one thing I can imagine as well, some people might want to know, and James, I've seen you've got your hand up. I'll come to you in a second. Is about immersion suits. So I was talking to someone and asked if they have an immersion suit, should they bring it? Do they need one?
We provide.
It's part of the emergency equipment. We have 10 new immersion suits. So it's part of the emergency equipment on board. They're not for use for sailing, it's for emergency, but we have them on board.
Yeah.
But one thing that came to mind, when I've been sailing in the winter in Sweden and in the Arctic, very thin dive gloves. And also when I worked on a trawler, when your hands are wet, very thin neoprene dive gloves takes the bite from the hands. That's what I will wear. That's what I wear.
Tracy, and I think it'll be no colder than we experienced going over the Pacific, because the protection that you're going to get from the boat compared to what we experienced, where you were just out there being bombarded with the water and being cold and wet, because it'll be quite a different experience than that. And like Hilda and Goeran said, there's the availability to go inside to the wheelhouse and warm up, which is a very different experience than you're used to. You'll probably find it with the gear that you've got, you'll be fine. I know your gear, and I think you'll be fine.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
James, I know you had your hand up. Sorry.
Hi, Hilda. Hi, Goeran. Super exciting. What watch system do you operate?
How do you mean watch system?
In terms of hours on, hours off, because the different countries do different watch systems in my experience. So it was just keen to...
and in yachting, it's different from commercial shipping. But since I spent most of my life in commercial shipping, we do 4 hours on, 8 hours off. So 12 to 4 on watch, 4 to 12 off watch. But then we have a system, so we rotate. On 1 week, for example, 12 to 4. On 1 week, you're on 12 to 4. Midnight to 4 in the morning, midday to 4 in the afternoon. For 1 week. And then the next week, you are on 4 to 8 in the morning and 4 to 8 in the evening. So everybody have the opportunity to see the same or to see different aspects of the day. Otherwise, in commercial shipping, we don't change. We are just on one watch. But for everybody's experience, we rotate it. So every week I take one watch myself on my own, and then we rotate moving forward. So when you're on watch, it will be the two of you. Like I said, if we're always looking for ice. We're not sailing hoping not to hit them ice. So there's always one guy on deck looking out, and then if it's a nice sunny day, maybe you're both on deck. But if it's a bit nippy or a blizzard, you rotate between the two of each other. You agree. You spend 20 minutes on deck and 20 minutes in the whalehouse, and then you rotate. So one is navigating, one is ice lookout. And then for the ice lookout also, by the time it's getting to the end of August, September, we have a searchlight I just received a few weeks ago that shine 3,000 meters, 3 kilometers. I haven't tested it yet, but it seems impressive. So when it starts to get dark in the few hours at night, we have that one in the bow for the ice lookout. But the watch system is 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 4, rotating.
And just as a supplement, my understanding is it's cabins of 2. Is that right? And then therefore, do you operate the watch within your cabin? Is that how it works?
I think the best is when we all meet in Nook. We decide who's going to. The cabins are more or less identical. There are 3 identical cabins. And we decide between each other who wants to team up with who. And then the best, of course, is then the 2 of them take the same cabin.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Perfect, James. Just on that as well. Just so what we will probably do once we've got the crew together, and the good thing about this trip is hopefully we're going to get the crew together with a lot of quite far in advance, right? So what we're hoping is that the crew will we might get some sailing together already next year, 2027. So you'll get to know each other a little bit. And certainly we'll arrange some sessions where, the crew will come together, if nothing else on Zoom, but hopefully also meet up face to face. And what Heather and I will do is we will sort of nominally allocate the cabins. And of course, we kind of put, we kind of put 2, it'll be like 2 guys together or 2 females together. Like, we don't kind of mix sexes in the cabins or anything like that. So we will have a pretty good idea of how to allocate the cabins. But as Goeran says, I mean, most of the time when you get on the boat, that's the time when anyway, the skipper and, will decide like the final allocation. So, but we're quite used to doing that ourselves as well.
Good.
So cool. Any other questions? Just consider, I think, Jake.
Sorry, another kid question.
Go for
I'm curious about boots in particular, and what do you wear for boots?
I normally just rubber boots. My when I was up now I don't wear any boots because it's warm, but it was Jill normal sailing boots. You can be fancy, but like it's not freezing. It's not below freezing. It's plus degrees. But when you're getting tired and if you're on watch and you're tired, your feet and your hands are the first ones that starts to get cold. when your body is exposed, it's shutting off to your hands and your feet first to protect the core. So that's the first things that getting cold is your hands and your feet. So extra size bigger boots with space for 1 or 2 socks.
Yeah, and we do have a Heather, is it a 30% or 20%, 25? I can't remember the discount for
I have to
Gill.
check. I can't remember off the top of my head.
We should know. It's
Yeah.
a
I think it's
between 20 and
25.
30% discount on any Gill gear. So if you were going to buy some boots, I mean, that probably is a good investment. We don't have boots on board for people, but if you were going to buy some sailing boots, the Gill offshore boots are really good. The Musto ones are also good. I think, again, Heather, you probably know more than me. You've sailed.
And what size bigger?
Heather sailed around the whole world in Crocs, though,
I
so
sailed
she might
the
not be the
whole
best
world in Crocs and waterproof socks. I'm not the right person to advise on boots.
I think so. Yeah, Gill offshore boots are good, and we have a discount code for those for anyone who and for any Gill gear that if people want to use that, or the Musto offshore boots generally, I would say are quite good. Hi James, I know you've got to go. We will send the rest of the call round, recorded call round as well.
Hi Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Couple of questions. In part of the 45 days, I presume at some point we will get ashore at certain points. Could you maybe expand on that?
The main stop, the schedule is Cambridge Bay, where we will refuel, do laundry, and other things. It's a southwest place, and then along the way, whenever we visit, we need to give notice in advance. But Hilda can talk about that. She's more oriented with that. But we don't show up at the Inuit village. We give advance notice and request permission to visit them. But she has been looking into that.
Yeah. No. Whichever villages we decide or communities, I will contact them beforehand to get a welcome and permission to visit them. And I'm going to do this in collaboration with Alex from Wild Films as well. Because he's still figuring out the angle of the documentary. We had one history angle, but we also now he's talking about maybe a more Inuit-centered documentary. So we might get a co-production on board as well, Inuit co-production on board. So, and also we'll whenever Parks Canada, they also need to be notified when we if there's special nature reserves we want to visit. So if you have any wishes of areas, you can just email them to Andrew. He can forward to me or Heather and forward to me, and I will contact Parks Canada or the Inuit villages.
I have the Musto boots for the North Pacific, and they're fine. They keep your feet warm, and having heating on board is a big help because you could dry them out if they get wet.
Yeah, definitely.
Your boots will be warm when you put them on. I have floor heating on the boat.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm used to putting wet socks and wet boots on the North Pacific, so that's luxury in comparison. I mean, presume all the documentation for either end, joining the boat, wherever we land and things will be, for better word, taken care of. Do we need anything specific other than passports for ourselves?
You need for Nome, US. It might be a tedious procedure nowadays to get the US visa. So we have to look into that ourselves as well. But I've just read a few days ago that a lot of countries are banned from getting a US visa. I don't think it's applicable to Europeans, but it probably would be good to contact the US Embassy about the visa for now.
Yeah, I got a visa for America when we sailed across the Pacific to come into Seattle.
You've got a 10-year probably.
That passport got wet and the visa got destroyed, but it is possible to
yeah,
get
David. So I just on that. So it's very similar to Clipper. I know you've done Clipper. So in the sense that what we will make sure, well, Goeran and Hilda will make sure that for the vessel, that all the certification and documentation is done, of course. For the crew, you'll need to make sure that you've got the necessary visas and, I mean, passport, of course, and visa to for all the places. So for Greenland, for the US, for the stops that we might make. So we can help with that to some extent. I mean, Heather and I will help in terms of making sure that people are clear about which visas they need, but ultimately, yeah, you will need a US visa, for example, and Esters won't help. Like you can't get, so if there's people on the call who've got an Ester with the US, that won't that won't be sufficient because you need a 10-year visa, proper visa from the US if you're arriving by boat, which you will be. So we can provide some more information on that. But anyone who's done Clipper, I mean, it's essentially the same kind of deal, right? So you do need to take responsibility to make sure you've got the visas and the passport and that, to enter and exit the country yourself. We can provide some support and help, but that's probably something to check out. And anyone from Europe it will be relatively straightforward. But if you've got questions, ping us a note.
And of course, insurance as well.
Yeah, insurance. So everyone will need seafarers insurance. Again, we have the insurance that will be good. You need proper seafarers insurance with a evacuation clause. But again, we can help. I mean, there are lots of insurance available. Your typical holiday travel insurance is probably not going to cover you getting evac from the Northwest Passage, but we often find people use Topsail, and again, Heather can send you the link. There's a world global travel insurance policy there specifically designed for sailors, which would cover Northwest Passage. We already know that because we already checked with them. So that insurance from Topsail will definitely work. But there are other providers, of course. So we'll send you the links to those and you can check the details out. But yeah, you do need insurance.
Yeah. All right.
You want Hilda to give you a tour of the boat?
Yeah.
Just a question on the boat. What is the size of the boat? Because I couldn't find that.
58 feet, 18 meter.
Okay.
I was curious if you could speak a little bit to kind of how you like to run the atmosphere of the boat, like what you envision as like a good group that works well together for the style and the way that you like to run like an expedition like this.
Basically, we're working as a team. There's no passengers on the boat, of course. We're all part of the crew. And as an atmosphere, its personality is the most important thing for myself when it comes to people on board a boat. It's their ego. If you have a too big ego, it can be very uncomfortable for other people. Basically, a very round personality, not a square personality. That's the number one. That's more important than any sailing experience or anything else, is to be able to live in harmony with other people in way of your communicating, etc. As for me, I will not be noticeable. I'm just you're sailing the boat. When you need help, you ask me to help you. But I will, of course, I'm running the boat, but not as I will be there to help you, and you take responsibility for your watch, and with all that entailed, and under my guidance. And I'm on call 24/7, so I will be around the clock. And the atmosphere, it's really difficult. We are sailing here now. We have 10 different people on board 3 times a month. We do 3 trips a month there, and from one trip to the next trip, the atmosphere can vary a lot. So it depends on the personality of the people and what frequency they generate or whatever.
But a positive atmosphere is positive spirits always.
We are on one of the biggest adventures you can imagine on this planet. So excitement, enthusiasm are two aspects that are very constructive. And if you're getting cold, just accept you're getting cold, but we are enthusiastic about what we're doing. That's how I feel it. I'm enthusiastic about doing it. And I think that will radiate throughout the boat.
Yeah. And of course, I like to keep the morale up also. Like we have a galley. Everyone is assigned a galley day. So we rotate. So one is assigned galley duty for each day. And if someone wants to bake a cake, that's always nice. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Does that answer the question, Brittany?
Yeah, no, that's helpful.
I'm sorry, Brittany. Yeah, was it you that emailed me?
Yeah, I realized like my worlds collided in the last 24 hours in a really funny way.
To respond to you, but that's great. You've done some Arctic studies as well. That's very interesting. Yeah,
and it'd be really cool to be able to sail home.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most important questions, right? About the atmosphere on the boat. And I would say, because we get asked that a lot for Wavysail too, and it's hard to explain because, as you say, every trip has different people on it. But the good thing is all the people on this call, I think we know almost all of them.
Yeah.
So they're all great people. So Hilda and Goeran, I know that you're going to have a great group of people on the boat, and it'll be a cool adventure. I think we've been asked as well quite a lot from people about, do they need to have massive amounts of sailing experience? I think you already answered it, but I'm just chipping in from the things that I've been asked from people. And the answer is, the attitude, a positive attitude is more important than sailing experience. So, and again, for those people who've done other big offshore passages that are maybe more, performance sailing or like the races, like the Clipper race, to be honest, we're not racing through the Northwest Passage, right? There's not going to be any, speedy head sail changes, unhanking and hanking sails on at 3 o'clock in the morning in a howling gale, right? It's not that kind of trip. So, you're not.
West is not fun to sail.
She's fun, but she's more like a jeep.
She's like a jeep compared to a sports car.
And you've got so much amazing scenery that you'll be going past. So it's a different type of sailing experience, if I can, from what I've understood from the way we've spoken together. And so really it comes down to, that kind of approach of getting as a team and working and living with each other, chipping in and, helping and making tea and cooking and, doing whatever needs to be done in order to keep the boat harmonious. And sharing in, that's just an incredible once in a lifetime opportunity, right?
Yes. When we are heading off from Greenland, then I think everybody's vibration will be very high.
Yeah.
And that will create the atmosphere on the boat.
Great. Shall we there's probably more time for questions afterwards. I'm conscious of people's time, but shall we do a bit of a tour?
Yes, absolutely. Just give me 1 minute. I just
try to figure out how it works.
Yeah, I'm just going to log in.
I like that on the chat, everyone's going, "Oh, I've sailed with you before, Tracy." So quite a lot of people will know each other. Like Daryl knows Tracy, Tracy knows. I'm only jealous that Heather and I can't come on this trip. We need another 2 places.
Yeah, sorry. The film crew is stealing our last cabin for that.
I'm good with an iPhone.
You're good with an iPhone. Just give me 1 minute. I'm signing in right now. I just had my new I just bought a new telephone, so it's trying to work out. What's it? All right. All right. I think you need to.
You need to share screen maybe, or
Yeah.
hang on.
Shall I? Maybe I should look out. Otherwise, it will be.
I think you need to. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I think you might need to share. You need to probably go and share screen
Yeah.
because we can't see you. Well, we can see you, but I can't see your phone.
Maybe I can do it with the
Or with the laptop. That's
yeah,
easier
yeah, I'll
if
try
you
to
can.
do it. Yeah, definitely. I'll do it with the laptop.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. I'm just gonna turn around. All right. Let's start outside. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So, welcome to Cartagena, by the way. This is our cockpit. You can comfortably be seating 10 people here. We have a hard cover over the whole cockpit and the dive deck. Can you see the dive deck?
Yes.
Yes. With 8 tanks, we have a dive compressor, not for the Northwest Passage, obviously, but we have a custom-built dive ladder, or purpose-built for a heavy dive gear, and our propane tanks, 2 of them. And then we have storage down there where we now keep our immersion suits, not needing them in some glass. And then we have what's little different about Quest is that she has these. You can walk on both sides, like you can on the commercial ships. This typical Goeran's experience as a commercial captain. We have 2 windlasses and 2 Bruce anchors. Can you see?
Yeah.
This is a little hard. Yeah. Right. And then the length overall is 19 meters or 64 foot with the dive deck. And then we have our, sorry. It's a little bit hard with the computer. Cans. We have the mainsail, that's 70 square meters. We have a Genoa, 110 square meters. And the number 2, then we have the stay sail, but it's not installed yet. Selden rigging and furlex system. I can actually send also the walkthrough of the boat that I am currently working on. Here we have our magnetic compass. And our autopilot. And then down in the wheelhouse, we have our navigation systems with the Furno 36 miles radar, AIS, the rate gyro compass and autopilot, depth sounder, 2 GPS and chart plotter. We have our handheld VHFs, our satellite phone. And then we have our engine room down here, but I think it will be hard to go down with the computer, or if you want to take a look. I think it's hard with the computer. Do it with the phone. Yeah, I will do it with the phone later. And then we have the accommodation down here. The saloon area. We have a small library. And then we have a pantry with a 80-liter freezer and 110-liter fridge. This is good. And then we have one of the cabins. As you can see, it's a twin cabin. Yeah, they are more or less identical. There's one. Here's the other one. And here's the third one.
We do have comforters, but we're leaving tonight with passengers. So
Yeah, we do have duvets, but we don't use them here in San Blas. And here we have one of the bathrooms with hot and cold pressurized shower. We have the galley. Another fridge, 80 liters. And then we have a small office space. Can you see? Small office space. And then crew cabin. This is mine and Goran's when we sail the Northwest Passage. Otherwise, this is ours, but this is going to be the film cruise. And then we have the aft bathroom. Also shower with pressurized hot and cold. Yes. All right. Did you get an okay view of the boat?
Fantastic. That was a great walkthrough, Hilda. Thank you.
Well, I could have done it better, maybe.
No. I think it was really good, and it was great to see it. And I think the idea of hot and cold running water and a shower in the two heads is, I mean, it's super luxury.
Yeah,
It's a luxury cruise.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the
We
most-
have a water maker on board, so
Yeah.
it'll be unlimited fresh water.
And yeah, what size are the tanks anyway? You've got quite big tanks, I assume, also.
Yeah.
Water tanks.
I'm just rebuilding 3 freshwater tanks to diesel. So we will have 3,000 diesel, 3,000 liter diesel and 1,500 liter freshwater.
Yeah, so 1,500
And the
liters
water
of
maker
fresh.
in this climate, I make about 220 liter an hour, but up maybe I make 150, 160 liter an hour in the Arctic.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3,000 liters of diesel means that you can go a long way. It's also really needed up in the Northwest Passage, I guess, just for people who are interested in the stats on the boat, and the things that we know, because when we also looked at doing the Northwest Passage and building our own boat, the challenge was always thermal, so insulation, losing a lot of heat from the yacht, which in your case, because she's fully insulated, is really important. And she's quite enclosed, because most yachts just leak hot air like a sieve, where Quest was built for the passage, so she's quite kind of closed. And then the fossil for the diesel, I mean, one way or another, you need to have a lot on board.
I think
Not that we want to use lots of fossil fuel, but in the end, you don't, running out of diesel and then, drifting into an iceberg is probably not fun. So
no, we will sail whenever possible, but we can also expect a lot of calm, and it's good to have diesel. So
it's a safety factor.
Yeah, and also to make use of if it opens up, we make use of the time with the engine. So not sitting becalmed with the ice gun and we're not getting anywhere. It's not a good idea.
Great. So any other questions from people? I know we're nearly our hour, but any other questions from anyone having seen the walkthrough? I mean, I'm feeling it's looking more luxurious than my house, so I might just move permanently on board Quest. Cool. Any other questions from anyone about anything at all? I know you probably have some questions that will pop up after.
Probably coming later,
Yeah.
So look, guys, just for clarity for everyone on the call, so the way that we're set up at the moment is that we have well, 3 or 4 people who I would say are you know, quite quite clear that they really want to join. And there are 6 places available. So the way that it's working, just again for everyone on the call, just so that it's kind of understood for everyone, what we've said is that if you are keen and you want to put and book a berth and you want to come on the trip, I mean, it's an amazing expedition. We'd love to get the crew together earlier rather than later. To do that, you can pay a deposit, 20% deposit, which you can do on our website, on the Wavysail website. But that deposit is also refundable because, life happens, right? Things change. We understand that. We're still 2 years out. And so we want to be fair to people. So what we've said is it's a deposit that holds your berth, that holds the space for you. There are only 6 places. But if within the next year that, for whatever reason things happen and you need to, leave your place, we'll just refund the deposit. That's no stress. Like, we understand that. If it's less than a year before the trip, then we hold the deposit. And if it's less than 3 months, then the whole amount is due. But, that does allow, hopefully, people to say, yes, I really want to join, to be able to hold their space now. And what that means is we can then know who's going to be on the yacht. And then there'll be lots of opportunities for us to try and get together, either on a Zoom calls on a regular basis as the trip and the itinerary comes together. Obviously, it's still 2 years out. There's quite a bit to do in terms of preparing the yacht, preparing the passage. And we will make sure that, you guys are kind of involved in that journey as it all comes together. And then there are probably some opportunities as well to go sailing. We will talk to you all about how, if you want to go sailing next year. We've got lots of Wavysail trips, so we can probably get everyone together, coordinate for everyone to come together on one of our trips. So that's sort of over the next 12 months that everyone gets to know each other and we form one happy crew. So that's sort of where we are. So very happy. If anyone's got any questions, ping Heather or I a note. Very happy to take any questions. Paul Henri, yes.
Could it eventually be a possibility that we can't make it through the passage?
Yes, it is a possibility. 2018, I think it was.
Yes.
When the Canadian Coast Guard told all the boats to turn around and go back because it will not open up. I think it was 2018.
It was.
And I think it was an Argentinian or Brazilian yacht that ignored the advice of the Canadian Coast Guard and pushed on anyway and got stuck in the ice and sank. So we will not take any chances. What you do when you sail in ice, you don't sail into a dead end and then the ice is closing in behind you. That's the worst thing you can do. Wherever you go, you need to have a way out. So if you don't have a way out, you don't go in. So, and that can be maybe it would look good half a mile further ahead. But if you can't, and you attempt it and the ice closes in behind you, and then that's it. So whenever you navigate in ice, you never go into a dead end. And that's basically and if we don't find open enough ice, we will not continue. So there's no guarantee. We will do, obviously, everything we can do to make it through. That's our mission, but we are not stupid. And the ice is moving very quickly with the current, etc. So you need to be very careful. And also we will get advice from the Canadians.
Yeah.
And if they should see that it's not recommendable, then we just turn around and go back to Nook. It's an expedition. It's not a cruise in Virgin Islands.
I think probably maybe Goeran, just to put it in context, though, I guess against that, sadly, it's probably getting more and more open on average each year.
Yeah, it is.
So
It looks very open. Yes,
Very open.
yesterday when I looked, it is
Yeah.
open.
So sadly, I think it's a low chance that you won't make it through because there's probably less and less ice. But yeah, I think it's really important that it is a attempt at, technically it's an attempt at the Northwest Passage because, as you said, this is not a push on at all costs. Like we will always,
No,
but probably I'm guessing probably
I
it's
would say
doable.
to
We wouldn't be
99%.
attempting it if we didn't think it was doable. But at the same time, yeah, if we have a year and it's
99% we will get through.
yeah, exactly.
But it must be
Addressed.
well understood that it is an attempt. It's not a guarantee, and I will not risk either the boat or the people on the boat. And
Right.
navigating in ice,
Perfect. Thank you. Poor Henri is left. He's left. He left because he's going to see the eclipse, not because he didn't like the restraints.
Okay.
He's like, if it's not 100%, I'm not in. Then I should say, by the way, none of the Wavysail trips are 100% guaranteed. Well, even the North, even like we will always stop the trip for safety reasons if we have to.
Yeah, definitely.
The
Cool.
way it looked like yesterday, it is wide open, way past the Cambridge, totally wide open. So
Cool.
it looks promising. So
Yeah.
we want to see some ice as well, but obviously I'm cautious. What you call it in English? Cautious general.
Yeah.
I'm not taking risks. I'm not taking chances. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not doing it. So
Exactly.
and that's the bottom line, regardless what anyone else say. That's the bottom
It's
line.
100%, and we will always do that. And again, anyone who knows has sailed with us knows that we'd be exactly the same. That safety always, safety first. Whatever happens, we cancel a trip or whatever because you put the safety first, and I know you would do the same. Cool.
But it looks very promising. So as it is now.
Cool. Anything else last? It's 1 minute past 7. So in the UK, and the sun is
our sun is still shining. So
ours has gone away. It has gone kind of cloudy. Right, cool. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up the call there. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to email or WhatsApp or whatever. Heather or I, no stress at all. Thank you, Goeran and Hilda, for taking time to show the boat and talk about the trip. It sounds super, super exciting. So yeah, I'm excited about the trip, and we can't go.
Yeah, and big thank you from me as well. I know I've not said much, but as a lot of you know, I'm always open for any questions, however big or small, regardless of what level of detail you need. I will try and help as much as I can.
Awesome.
That's good. Nice. Looking forward to work with you guys.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.